Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. I'm thrilled to be joined by Evangelos Simoudis, who is a recognized expert on AI, new mobility, and corporate innovation. He has been working in Silicon Valley for 30 years as a startup founder and CEO, corporate executive, venture investor, senior advisor to global corporations and governments. He has been investing in AI startups and advising senior management teams of large organizations on AI and new business models. We're going to talk all about many of those different areas, as well as, of course, his fantastic read, The Flagship Experience, How AI and Software-Defined Vehicles Will Revolutionize the Automotive Customer Experience. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to our conversation.
Pleasure to be here.
Evangelos, thank you. Appreciate it. So I always love to get to know the person behind the microphone. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how you became interested in this topic?
Yeah, so I came to the U.S. from Greece almost 45 years ago now, and got into AI very early on, about 1982, 83. And since that time, in a variety of roles, I followed the evolution of the space. But for the past 10 years, I became very interested in the impact of AI that will have in mobility in general. That means both vehicles as well as cities and anything that relates to mobility. And I've written 3 books on the topic, including the most recent one that you mentioned, the Flagship Experience, where I explore how the AI and a type of vehicle called software-defined vehicle will impact the way that we as consumers and businesses interact with the vehicle, and how the automakers are able to provide different services, many of which are AI-centric.
Absolutely. Again, chatting with Evangelos Simoudis, a recognized expert on AI. So you just talked about the big concept of software-defined vehicle, SDV. Can you explain that concept in simple terms, and how does it differ from traditional vehicles?
Yeah, so traditional vehicles are collections of electromechanical devices. There's a lot of mechanics going on, and there is software in them, but it's a very low-level software, type of software that machines understand, but it's not very easy for humans to understand. The software-defined vehicle, you can think of it, an analogy that has been used frequently is like a smartphone on wheels. So it's very much software-centric. So all the functions of the vehicle are provided via software versus this electromechanical, the buttons and the brakes and everything else that makes up the cars today. And as a result of that, because of all this software centricity of the software that exists in the vehicle, in these new type of vehicles, we're able to modify them, to customize them, personalize them in ways that we couldn't before. That makes easy for the automaker to provide updates to the vehicle. Your listeners may have heard the term over-the-air updates, which Tesla first started offering, but now we're seeing in many other vehicles from many other automakers. But more importantly, the automaker is able to provide additional services that are much closer to the needs of each user of the vehicle, which may not be necessarily just the owner, but everybody else who uses the vehicle. And some of these services can be monetized, which is an added benefit to the automaker.
Mm-hmm. And what is the Flagship Experience, and how does it differ from the current customer experience in the automotive industry?
Yeah, so with the Flagship Experience, what I try to do is to say that because of these software-defined vehicles and because of the progress we have made with AI, it is now time to rethink how what comprises the overall customer experience that we offer around both inside the vehicle but also outside the vehicle. I'll give you an example. before electric vehicles came to market, we didn't think of charging as being part of the software experience, right? And when Tesla started offering chargers with together with the vehicles, people started wondering, okay, well, why do I need this capability? Why don't I have the same thing that I do today, which is go to the gas station to refuel my car? But little by little, customers started appreciating the fact that you have the charging being part of the overall owning the various vehicles that you have. Now, so charging is one example. There are many other examples that are even outside the vehicle, such as, where do I park the vehicle? What routes do I take to go, on a journey with my family? And then obviously there's the experience within the cabin, which can be personalized from everything from the mood lighting that you can have now in the vehicle, all the way to how you want your instruments to be presented, what is the temperature in the rear of the vehicle, etc., and so forth. There are many ways that to modify those vehicles now.
Absolutely. We're going to have to squeeze in a very quick break here and get down to business. You could always check out all of our shows at syklein.com or in your favorite podcast app. Just search for Get Down to Business. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and share. Again, when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Evangelos Simoudis, recognized expert on AI, the author of the flagship experience, how AI and software-defined vehicles will revolutionize the automotive customer experience. Again, a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Boy, oh boy, is this exciting. We're talking about the flagship experience. We're talking about software-defined vehicles, also known as SDVs, with the expert himself. Evangelos, really appreciate you continuing your conversation with us over here. I don't want to share all the secrets from the book, which I know we will get our listeners in touch with and make sure it's easy to find in just a minute or two. But as the expert, you are truly the subject matter expert and advise so many different organizations on this topic. What are some of the key trends and developments that you're keeping an eye on in the field of mobility and technology?
So let's start from technology. It's a much bigger topic. So obviously, generative AI is something that has burst into the scene over the past couple of years. It is starting to impact almost every industry, including the automotive and mobility industries. And the impact comes everywhere from autonomous vehicles all the way to how vehicles are manufactured and as I said before, how we experience the vehicle. So imagine, for example, a chatbot that in the cabin of the vehicle that can help you with all your requests, whether it is how to drive from point A to point B, to how to modify the environment in the cabin, and anything else that you want to ask on the way to wherever you're going. So generative AI, as I said, is a big deal. We've seen a lot of progress in autonomous vehicles. We're also seeing a lot of renewed investments in the sector. Here in San Francisco, where I live, Waymo now offers over 100,000 rides per week using its autonomous vehicle fleet. So autonomy for personal mobility is an area that has gone through a significant journey and is now starting to hit its stride. Very quickly, I think we're going to also see similar type of a business on long-haul trucking and other types of autonomous vehicles. So we're monitoring how that is going. Now, a number of companies, both here in the U.S. and in China and parts of Europe, are testing these autonomous trucks of various sizes. we're also seeing what cities are doing with their digital platforms, because again, AI can have a big impact there, and impact that we can experience on a daily basis. So we see a lot of innovations in Asian cities, and more recently in Europe, and I think the US will follow with that. Um, the last thing that we are starting to monitor closely is so-called humanoid robots. So these are robots that are able to be applied to a variety of tasks that are much more flexible than the industrial robots that we know today. And they can be applied, obviously, in the automotive industry and reduce significantly various costs associated with manufacturing. We're seeing them now in healthcare, in hospital settings. And they will also, I mean, one of the important parts here is that they will have an impact on employment. So we're monitoring what that will be in the not too distant future.
That's exciting me. That's exciting me indeed. And I want to make sure our listeners can find the book and stay in touch with you and follow all the research you're conducting. How can they do that?
So the book is offered in every major outlet, Amazon, Apple, and as well as certain booksellers. I'm very active on LinkedIn and Twitter or X. So people can, and then my personal website is evangelosimoudis.com. So from there, I have all my keynotes and my blog and the like.
And I'll link in the show notes as well. That's a wrap for us this week here on Get Down to Business, the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship to success. Let's get down to business. We'll see you next week.